Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's best trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Today, we have a lot of stocks to cover. I'm going to go over probably 6 or 7 charts today. So I'm going to go through them a little bit more rapid fire than I usually do. And then at the end, if I have a little bit of time, I'm going to go over IRBT. There was one of the comments earlier this morning saying it's a must talk about. It has run over 100% from the lows. And I have some key technical levels that you'll want to stay tuned with, as well as the SMH. It's retraced back inside of a parallel channel. And now we're starting to get into a gap. I have a couple different levels on this chart for potential shorts. Their SYM yesterday was my kind of Hail Mary. It did have a nice bounce yesterday. And then after hours, it fell sharply. So it could get into those levels today. So I still have that on my radar. Now with that, let's go ahead and go over a couple different open positions, a couple different trades that I've been monitoring. First one is AMD. Still has this kind of a fake head and shoulders pattern, only due to the fact that it's a down sloping trend line. My shortable level was $224.07. As you can see, it's gotten a little bit of a rejection here. It hasn't fallen sharply enough for us to, for the swing trade to have played out fully. If price action does go long for a day trade, I'm looking at the first level at 206.24. This would be a decent move to the downside if we can get a sell-off in the markets, and AMD, again, 206.24. And then I have additional support at $199.79. If this head and shoulders pattern plays out, it would get down to $181.27. What I like about this potential downside target is look at these previous pivot tops. These were the all-time highs from July and August of 2025. Before a decent sell-off, when price action does get back into that level, you should get pretty solid support at $181.27. MDB was another stock that I was mentioning yesterday. The 50% retrace on this topping tail was $409.51. It's currently playing out a little bit. Still isn't enough for us to have fully developed this swing trade. I'm looking for about a 10-15% pullback from this level, knowing that there's a potential stop out at $119.44. I did mention that I was going to try to get into this at a 786 fib retracement in the live day trading room. It never got up to that level, but it had a decent pullback. Now, if it starts breaking this low pivot point, or the bottom of this, this topping tail at 401.73, starts confirming below it on a daily closing basis, then you're going to get a lot more downside. I see a potential downside target to this wide range red bar candle right here around $345. One of the stocks that had been on my radar earlier in the, a couple months ago was SNDK, or actually last month. This thing has been a lot more volatile than even I anticipated it being, which is really nice. I love to play volatile stocks like this. It did have a little bit of a sell-off yesterday. I thought it was going to continue to break down. So I do have a long level if we get additional selling pressure today. My long level, look at this gap fill at $175.49. If it starts breaking this level with volume, I would stop out of this, knowing that you had this previous gap fill right here at $166.38. If it can flush that level, it's coming down to $134.15. This is the price consolidation from basically early to mid October. Again, $134.15 is where the potential downside target is on SanDisk, and this would be more of a swing trade on this chart. APP was another stock that we were mentioning. It has broken this downsloping trend line. The third hit of a downsloping trend line usually favors a pullback. APP just decided to blow through that, and then it continued much, much higher. It still hasn't confirmed a breakout. So on a daily close, on a pullback, you can actually use this as support, even though it didn't confirm above. So let's go ahead and take a look at APP. I still like this short level. Now this short level is $684. Let me go ahead and change this for you guys. $684 $2,000.48. This is more of an aggressive level. It's basically just the opening price of this wide range red bar candle before this massive sell-off in APP. When price action gets up into this level, it will, on a technical basis, you should get some sellers in here who are willing to exit the position, who were stuck in this wide range red bar candle, should put the price down. On a long basis, I'm looking at $623.59. This is just this gap. And if it happens to coincide with this downsloping trend line, again, this would be a nice long level for a day trade. If we can close back below this this downsloping trend line, you're actually going to get a pretty good rejection, and then could get down to $557. As you can see, APP, when it decides to run, it can go up 38% in just over a week. So I'm a little bit more cautious with this, starting with like maybe a 1/10 position into this trade, knowing that it still could go back up to $745, this double top area. Intel, I did have a great level for this gap fill, but since it had gotten so close to that gap fill previously at $43.94, this was not on the table for me. I'm looking for a move up to $49.55. Not only this is a day trade level for me, this would also be a swing trade level. SYM was another stock that we were mentioning. Had a wild move to the downside, over 20%. Yesterday, I was anticipating it falling a little bit more. It actually got about a 10% move to the upside. After hours, it decided to fall. I have a great support level if price can get into this level today. My first long level is $59.42. What I like about this is you've got this red bar pivot top right here where you've had some buyers that were stepping in, got rejected. When price action gets back into this level, I still think that there should be some buyers stepping up to bid this to the upside. Not only that, but look at this wide range green bar candle. I love to see this kind of price action. And then you have my additional long level at $55.46. Not only is it this gap fill right here before this wild ride to the upside, but look at all of this price consolidation. When price action gets in there, you should have some institutions and some retail investors who are interested in getting into it. And this upsloping trend line right in the midline of this $59.52 and $55.46 level. Look at this upsloping trend line. So it connects this high right here, had this price consolidated right in this area, basically the mid to the late part of June. And then you had this nice rise to the upside. Look at the support. You got hit support one time, two times. Third time broke through and then got a big bounce off of this upsloping trend line. And then when price action gets into this area, you should get a lot of support as well. You start breaking these levels though, SYM could really fall to the downside, could get a move all the way down to $43.58. This is the previous wide range green bar candle and a lot of support in this area. The SMH, SMH finally. This is an upsloping parallel channel that we have been tracking for quite some time. It finally got back inside of this parallel channel with confirmation, indicating that the buyers are stepping back up to drive the price higher. I have a couple different shortable levels for today. These are more aggressive levels, but because the SMH doesn't move dramatically, you should get some sort of a rejection once it gets into this gap fill. My first shortable level today is $366.10. I have to zoom into the charts for us to notice this. This is a gap fill that happened on the 3rd of November before this big rejection to the downside. Once price action gets back into this area, you got to think that there's still a lot of people who were stuck in this trade right here, thinking that there was still more potential upside and then got rejected. When price action gets into this level, if it can, you should get a nice $2-3 pullback from this entry point right here. If price action does go above that, you got your next resistance at this double top at $373.10. And then my ultimate max upside for today would be $379.22. So let me go ahead and show you why I like that $379.29 or $379.72. You create this pivot or this trend line, creating that from this highs in 2024, secondary pivot high from the October highs. And so once price action gets back into this level, you should have a lot of resistance and some selling pressure to come in and drive this to the downside. All right, Serve Robotics. Again, this is more of although this is a day trade, this is a more risky trade. Short level for me is $12.91. Look at the move from the lows. You had an $8 low, and that if it gets up into this area, this would be a 60% move to the upside. $12.91 is what I'm looking at. On a 15-minute closing basis, I am looking to stop out of that, knowing that Serve Robotics can make these really big moves to the upside. So I don't want to be caught short this, knowing that it can go up to this gap fill at $13.85. I might try to dollar cost average into this. I'm not sure. If you guys want to find out how I navigate that trade, and if it gets up there, please join me in the live day trading room. I do have a couple other charts that I'm going to go over. These are going to be really quick. Man, AVGO, so many charts, so little time. AVGO, I still have my shortable level, first shortable level at $403 with a max upside of $420.77. What I've done is I've connected this pivot top from December 2024, secondary pivot high, 10th of September. So this would be a third hit of this upsloping trend line. You should get some pretty significant selling pressure if it can move up. On the downside, you have this upsloping trend line right here as support. So if it gets back down, your first level of support is going to be right around $350. Apple is a chart that we've been monitoring as well. So many different charts. Connect this pivot top from the highs of 2021, pivot high from the 2024 highs. Look at what price action did. I love to see price action peak above a downslope, or excuse me, an upsloping trend line, and then pull back inside of it. If we can continue this rejection back inside of this upsloping trend line, your next level of support is going to be this upsloping trend line that connects the 5th of August, the 16th of October, third hit right here. So the fourth hit could get a little bit of support, but if it bounces on this again, this support level is going to be weakened and should get a nice fall, could even take it down to about $252. All right, I do have a little bit more time. So IRBT from the lows has bounced over 150%. I'm going to go over this chart really quick for you. Thank you so much for commenting. I really appreciate it. So IRBT, you have this gap fill at $6.95. This would be, for me, the max upside potential. But look at what I have in the charts. You have this upsloping trend line that connects the lows from the April lows, secondary hit at the September, third hit, fourth hit. And then notice what happened. After the fourth hit, you got this huge rejection to the downside. Actually took out the all-time lows at $1.76, then got this nice up move. We have this downsloping trend line connects the 23rd of July highs. Look at how price got below this, stayed below it, and then got back above. Was a little bit of support. However, if price can get back up to this, or get above this downsloping trend line right here, you're going to make your way up to this $3.90 level. If we can get back inside or above this back above this upsloping trend line, then I think you could get up to $6.95. For me, this is more of a meme play. So I wouldn't be interested in trading this, but here are the levels that you've got to be watching for. Again, this downsloping trend line is the line in the sand. Currently, price action needs to get above it, confirm above, and then you would play this on a retrace to the scene of the crime, probably getting in around $3, and then look for a break above this upsloping trend line right here. All right, so many different charts, so many different levels. Gareth Holloway is going to be going live in less than a minute, so I got to hop off of here. You guys don't want to miss my trading game plan. He's going to be going over some key levels with you as well. So thank you guys so much for joining. Please like, follow, subscribe, and ring that bell so you can get notified when I go live every morning. And with that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.